Darkness swallowed the room whole. The last sound Kiera heard was her own heartbeat. Then, movement. A breath that wasn't hers. When the lights flickered back, the stranger stood in the doorway. Tall. Impossibly still. His eyes, black and depthless, drew the air from her lungs. "Father," Dorian said, voice tight. The older vampire stepped forward, rain gleaming on his coat like oil. "You've broken the oath, my son. You marked a mortal." Kiera tried to speak, but her throat closed around the weight of his power. The air vibrated with it. "She was dying," Dorian said. "I saved her." "You doomed her," the patriarch answered. "The mark binds your hunger to hers. Every beat of her heart will call to you until you drain it." Kiera's stomach twisted. "You're lying." He looked at her with faint amusement. "Do you think our kind lies to pray?" "Stop," Dorian hissed, stepping between them. "If you touch her." The elder raised a single hand. Dorian froze, muscles locking mid-step, as if the very air obeyed his father's command. "You forget who made you," the man said softly. "You were a prince of Duskmoor, not some lovesick fool." Lightning ripped across the sky. For an instant Kiera saw symbols carved into his palms, ancient, glowing faintly red. Power pulsed from them. "Please," she whispered. "I don't want this." The elder studied her. "You already belong to it." His mark made certain of that. He reached for her, fingertips hovering inches from her cheek. And the window exploded inward. Shards of glass spiraled through the air. Dorian moved again, the spell breaking. He grabbed Kiera and pulled her toward the hole. "Run!" he shouted. They burst into the rain-soaked street. Wind tore at her clothes, thunder cracked like gunfire overhead. Behind them, the mansion windows blazed crimson. Kiera stumbled, and Dorian caught her, his grip iron. "He won't stop," he said. "Not now. Hell send hunters." "Then what do we do?" He looked toward the forest. "We disappear before dawn." They ran through Duskmoor's twisting alleys until the lights of the town faded behind them. The rain thickened into fog. Every sound seemed alive, branches whispering, something pacing just out of sight. Finally they stopped beneath the old clock tower ruins, breathless. Dorian's eyes gleamed faintly in the dark. "You should hate me," he said. "I should," she whispered. "But I don't." His expression cracked, grief, longing, hunger. "Then you're already lost." Before she could reply, a bell rang from somewhere deep in the woods. One slow toll. Then another. Dorian's face drained of color. "They've found us." "What is it?" "The Hollow Guard," he said. "My father's soldiers." The bell tolled a third time, closer now. Dorian turned to her, eyes blazing. "No matter what happens, don't run toward the light. It's a trap." The ground trembled. Mist poured between the trees, forming shapes, tall, cloaked, moving faster than shadows. Kiera gripped his arm. "Dorian. They're here." A whisper slid through the fog, cold and hungry. "Bring her to the master." Thunder cracked. The night erupted into chaos. The fog thickened until Kiera couldn't see her own hands. The bell's toll still echoed through the trees, slow and deliberate, like the heartbeat of something ancient. Dorian grabbed her wrist. "This way." They ran through the mud, dodging roots and branches that seemed to reach for them. Behind them came the sound of footsteps, too many, too fast. The Hollow Guard. Shapes formed in the mist, tall figures wrapped in cloaks that fluttered without wind. Their faces were masks of bone and shadow, and where eyes should be, a faint red glow pulsed. "Dorian," Kiera gasped, What are they? Once human, he said. Now bound to my father's will. They hunt what he commands. A hiss tore through the fog. One of the guards leapt forward, claws slicing through the air. Dorian spun, faster than she could follow, and drove his arm into its chest. The thing shattered into dust. Keep moving, he shouted. They broke through the trees, stumbling into a clearing where a ruined chapel stood half swallowed by ivy. Its bell tower loomed overhead, cracked but still standing. Kiera's lungs burned. We can hide. No, he said sharply. They can smell fear. The bell tolled again, closer now. The sound made her vision blur. Dorian caught her before she fell. They're trying to draw you out, he murmured. They want the mark. Then take it off me, she cried. His jaw tightened. It's not that simple. I tied our souls together, Kiera. To undo it, I'd have to. He stopped. You'd have to what? Kill you. Her heart froze. You're serious? He looked away. I'm trying not to be. The forest went silent. Then, one by one, 6 figures stepped from the fog, circling them. The leader's cloak fell back, revealing skin pale as ash and a mouth that didn't breathe. Bring her, it rasped. The master demands his son's mistake. Dorian's fangs bared. You'll have to tear her from me. They attacked all at once. The clearing erupted in chaos, claws, blood, light. Dorian moved like a storm-given flesh, faster than the eye could track. One guard's head hit the ground, another dissolved into black smoke. Still, there were too many. One struck from behind, slicing his shoulder. Dorian roared, grabbing the creature and throwing it into a tree so hard the trunk split. Kiera dropped to her knees, covering her ears as the bell tolled again. The sound drilled into her skull, pulling something out of her, the mark on her neck blazing with light. Kiera! Dorian shouted. Fight it! She screamed as the glow spread down her throat, her veins lighting up gold against pale skin. The guards paused, drawn to the light like moths. Dorian lunged, wrapping his arms around her. Focus on me, he whispered fiercely. Not them. Me. The air vibrated. The bell fell silent. The forest went still. When Kiera opened her eyes, the clearing was empty. No guards. No fog. Just rain falling softly through the trees. Her pulse thudded in her ears. What happened? Dorian's eyes were darker now, pupils wide. You repelled them. I did that. He nodded slowly. You're changing. What do you mean changing? The mark's binding faster than I thought. You're becoming like us. Kiera's breath caught. How long do I have? Dorian didn't answer. Thunder rolled through Duskmoor again, distant but coming closer. They made it back to Duskmoor before dawn, both silent, both bleeding. The town lay shrouded in fog and silence, as if the storm itself feared what followed them. Kiera stumbled into her apartment, drenched and shaking. Her reflection in the window caught her eye. For a moment, it didn't look like her. The faint shimmer of the mark pulsed just beneath her collarbone, brighter than before, veins faintly silver beneath her skin. It's spreading, she whispered. Dorian stood behind her, his face pale and unreadable. The mark is a tether. The more danger you face, the tighter it pulls. What happens when it's done pulling? You stop being you, he said softly. Kiera turned to him, tears in her eyes. Undo it. I can't. Then end it. He flinched as though struck. You don't understand what you're asking. I'd rather die human than live as something else. For the first time, his voice broke. I've seen death. It's colder than anything you can imagine. Don't ask me to put you there. Silence hung between them, heavy and fragile. Then a sound split the quiet, 3 deliberate knocks at the door. Dorian's expression hardened. He's found us. Before Kiera could move, the door creaked open on its own. The air turned icy. A tall figure stepped through, their outline hazed by candlelight. The patriarch. He smiled faintly, revealing just a trace of fangs. You ran far for a creature who's already mine. She's not yours, Dorian growled, stepping between them. She's not yours either, the elder countered. You've cursed her with what she cannot survive. Shall survive, Dorian snapped. Then prove it. The man snapped his fingers. Shadows filled the room, wrapping around Kiera's arms and throat. She gasped, struggling as they lifted her from the floor. Stop. Dorian lunged forward, but invisible force threw him back into the wall. Every mark carries a price, the patriarch said. Let's see if yours was worth it. Kiera screamed. The mark flared white-hot, veins glowing across her body like molten light. Her pulse thundered so loud it drowned out the storm. Dorian fought against the force holding him, snarling through clenched teeth. Let her go. She's transcending, the patriarch whispered. Becoming what you feared she would. And then the light exploded. The windows shattered outward. The room went white. When the glow faded, Kiera dropped to the floor, still, silent. Smoke rose from her skin. Dorian crawled to her side, gathering her into his arms. Her chest rose once, shallow. Kiera, he breathed. Stay with me. Her eyes fluttered open, but they weren't the same. The irises shimmered silver, glowing faintly in the dark. I can hear you, she whispered. Your heartbeat. Dorian froze. The patriarch smiled. Welcome to eternity, little one. Kiera's gaze darted between them, confusion turning to realization. And hunger. Dorian's jaw tightened, torn between awe and horror. No, he whispered. What have I done? The patriarch turned toward the open door. You've given me exactly what I wanted. A daughter of both worlds. Then he vanished into the mist, leaving Dorian kneeling on the floor with the creature he loved. And Kiera Vale, reborn beneath the dawn. Silence lingered long after the patriarch vanished. The candles hissed. The storm outside seemed to hold its breath. Dorian stayed on the floor with Kiera in his arms, terrified to move. Kiera, he whispered. Her eyes opened, silver, luminous, too bright for anything human. Everything is loud, she breathed. Your heart. The rain. Even the earth is humming. Focus on me, he said softly. She sat up slowly. The hunger hit her like fire, sweet, sharp, unbearable. It wasn't pain. It was need. I'm so thirsty, she murmured, horrified. I won't let you starve, he said. Her gaze flicked to his throat. She turned away fast, trembling. Don't let me hurt you. You won't, he promised. But we have to move. My father will send the guard to finish what he started. They slipped into the alley behind the apartment as dawn bled pale across Duskmoor's rooftops. The town was silent, windows shuttered. Dorian led her down to a rusted iron door built into the hillside. Inside lay the crypt. The air was cold, thick with salt and candle wax. Professor Ashbourne appeared from the shadows, pale and wide-eyed. Dear God. He marked you past the threshold. What does that mean? Kiera asked. You're still alive, but the night owns part of you now, Ashbourne said. If you feed from him, the bond will be permanent. His father will use it to enslave you both. Then what do I do? There's a relic, Ashbourne said quickly. A chalice once used by those between life and dark. Blood poured into it loses the caller's claim. If you drink from it, you might break the bond. Where? Dorian demanded. Under the bell tower, the professor said. But the Hollow Guard patrol there. They know its power. Kiera pressed her hand to her chest. I can make it. You can barely stand, Dorian said. I won't belong to him, she said fiercely. I'd rather die free. Ashbourne gave her a rosary of black iron. It won't stop them, but it will sting. They descended deeper, through tunnels slick with water and shadow. The sound of dripping echoed like a heartbeat. At last they reached a circular chamber, a pedestal in its center, empty. The chalice should be here, Ashbourne whispered. Shadows shifted. Cloaked figures peeled from the walls, red eyes glowing. The master thanks you for bringing his daughter, one hissed. Dorian shoved Kiera behind him, fangs bared. She isn't his. You mistake possession for protection, the leader rasped. He doesn't need her alive to own her. Ashbourne pointed toward a side passage. There, move. They sprinted through the narrow archway, the guard close behind. The tunnel opened into a stone vault, cracked altar at its end. Upon it sat a tarnished cup etched with wolves and thorns. The chalice, Ashbourne gasped. Dorian slashed his wrist and let blood fall into the cup. Kiera caught his arm. If I drink you, he wins. From the tunnel came claws and whispers. Dorian's voice broke. Then choose, starve, or take me. Ashbourne cut his own palm, spilling blood into the cup. Take mine. It's unclaimed. The guard reached the doorway, closing in fast. Kiera's hunger screamed. She lifted the chalice, trembling, as the first claw struck the stone. She drank. And the bell of Duskmoor tolled once, deep as thunder. Darkness slammed through the vault. The candles died. Everything fell silent. The world snapped back with a gasp. Cold air rushed in, carrying dust and blood. The torches along the walls flickered back to life one by one, weak and trembling. Kiera lay sprawled beside the altar, the chalice still clutched in her shaking hands. The blood inside it glowed faintly gold before fading to black. Dorian was already beside her. Kiera, breathe. She did, and the sound was wrong. Too sharp. Too strong. Her senses exploded outward. She could taste the metal in the air, smell the fear clinging to Ashbourne, hear Dorian's heartbeat hammering fast and desperate. What did you do? He whispered. I drank, she said hoarsely. But it wasn't yours. Ashbourne stared at the cup, eyes wide with disbelief. The relic took both our bloods. It chose her. Chose me? Kiera asked. The chalice doesn't just break bonds, the professor said slowly. It transfers them. Whatever power claimed you now answers to you. A low rumble crawled through the stone beneath their feet. The red glow of the guard's eyes reappeared in the tunnel, but when the first one stepped inside, it stopped, trembling. Kiera's mark shimmered, a faint halo of light beneath her skin. They can't come closer, Dorian realized. Ashbourne whispered, you're commanding them. Kiera stood unsteadily, her fear melting into awe. The guard lowered their heads, kneeling one by one. Shadows bowed to her. Dorian's voice was quiet, reverent. You're his daughter no longer. She looked down at the chalice, her reflection rippling in the dark liquid. Then whose am I? The ceiling groaned above them. Stone dust drifted down. Ashbourne backed away. We need to leave. The relic's power isn't meant for the living. It'll draw him here. Too late, Dorian muttered. The bell above the tower tolled again, twice this time. The sound made the walls shake. Kiera staggered, gripping the altar. Images flashed in her mind, the patriarch's eyes, the endless black beneath Duskmoor, the roots pulsing like veins. Something down there was moving, waking. He's coming, she whispered. He knows I took it. The guard began to twitch, torn between obedience and fear. Their heads snapped up, eyes bleeding light. Dorian pulled her close. Can you control them? I don't know how. Try. She focused, feeling the mark burn hotter. The glow from her skin spread, brighter, purer. Stop, she commanded. For a moment, the guard froze. Then their bodies twisted, screeching, turning to ash that scattered into the rain blowing through the cracks. Ashbourne stared. You unmade them. Kiera fell to her knees, shaking. I didn't mean to. Dorian caught her before she hit the ground. You did what you had to. The bell tolled a third time, louder, closer. The sound wasn't from above anymore. It was from below. The floor split open near the altar, revealing a spiral of darkness that breathed like a living thing. Ashbourne stumbled back, crossing himself. The hollow. It's awake. Dorian lifted Kiera in his arms. We're leaving. But as they turned toward the tunnel, a whisper drifted up from the crack, smooth, deep, unmistakable. My daughter, the voice said. You've taken what was mine. Kiera's pulse stopped. The air turned to frost. And from the pit, a pale hand began to rise. The hand that rose from the hollow was not human. Its skin was pale stone, veins glowing faintly crimson beneath the surface. Another followed, gripping the edge of the cracked floor as the pit widened with a grinding roar. Dorian backed away, pulling Kiera with him. Don't look at him. She couldn't help it. The figure climbing from the darkness was terrible and beautiful at once, his father, the patriarch, reborn in a body forged from shadow and blood. My child, the voice rolled like thunder, echoing through the chamber. You've stolen from me. I took back what you tried to own, Kiera said, though her voice trembled. He smiled. And you believe that makes you free? She raised the glowing mark on her neck, defiant. You can't touch me. Oh, I don't need to, he said softly. You bear my power now. And power always obeys its maker. The ground shook again. The shattered altar began to bleed light, threads of gold twisting into the air, winding toward Kiera like smoke. She tried to step away, but they coiled around her wrists and throat, humming with warmth. Dorian slashed at them with his dagger, the blade sparked uselessly. Stop fighting it, the patriarch murmured. Let it complete the bond. No! Kiera screamed. The mark blazed brighter, fighting the pole. For a moment, the glow burst outward, forming a ring of light around her. The air rippled. Every candle in the crypt flared white-hot. Dorian shielded his eyes. Kiera. The light cracked like glass, then imploded. The blast threw them all backward. When the smoke cleared, Kiera was gone. Where is she? Dorian shouted. From the darkness, his father's laughter echoed. She's where she belongs. Dorian lunged, but the patriarch's form was already fading, drawn back into the collapsing pit. The hollow welcomes its queen, the voice whispered. The ground sealed over with a hiss, leaving only scorched stone. Dorian fell to his knees, chest heaving. Kiera. Ashbourne stumbled to his side, bleeding from a cut above his brow. She's not dead. The relic's light, it transported her somewhere inside the hollow itself. Then him going after her. Don't be a fool, the professor warned. That realm devours souls. You'd never come back. Dorian stood, eyes burning with fury and grief. Then I'll burn with her. He picked up the fallen chalice. The metal still pulsed faintly, echoing her heartbeat through his palms. He lifted it to his lips and drank the last drops of her blood. Ashbourne gasped. Dorian, no. But the change was instant. His veins blackened, his eyes flooded silver, and his breath left in a hiss of smoke. Now, he said, voice breaking into a growl, I can follow her. The bell above the tower tolled once more. And as the final echo faded, Dorian Veyra vanished into mist, diving headlong into the hollow where Kiera Vale now waited, suspended between light and darkness. The hollow was endless. No sky. No ground. Only drifting fragments of memory, faces, whispers, flashes of blood and light. Kiera hung suspended in it like a dream half-remembered, her body weightless, her thoughts scattered. When she moved, the air shimmered around her. The mark on her neck burned faintly, a compass that pulsed toward a deeper dark. Where am I? Her voice echoed. Home, a whisper answered, her father's, distant and smooth. This is what you were made for. She spun, searching. Shadows coalesced into forms, hundreds of them. Pale souls, chained to the black. They watched her silently, eyes like hollow stars. I'm not one of you, she said. The nearest figure smiled, cracked lips stretching too wide. You carry his blood. That makes you ours. The mark on her skin flared, sending a wave of light that scattered the shades. For a heartbeat, she was alone again. Then another presence filled the void, familiar, electric. Kiera. She turned. Dorian stepped from the fog, his body wreathed in smoke and light. He looked different, stronger, dangerous, his veins alive with silver fire. Dorian. He reached for her hand. I followed the bond. She stared at him in disbelief. You drank the blood. I had to. You'll die here. He smiled faintly. Not if you save us first. The darkness quivered. From its depths, the patriarch's voice boomed. You think love will rewrite blood? You are mine, both of you. Chains of crimson light whipped through the void, striking like serpents. Dorian shoved Kiera aside, the coils wrapping around him. He screamed, every vein burning black. No! She cried, grabbing the chains. The heat seared her skin, but she didn't let go. Her mark ignited, blinding white, and the air filled with the sound of cracking stone. Release him. Her father's form appeared above them, vast and skeletal, the remnants of his human shape breaking apart. Then take his place, he hissed. Kiera met his gaze, silver fire swirling in her eyes. Gladly. She pulled the chains into herself. Light erupted from her hands, tearing through the hollow like dawn breaking the night. The force threw the patriarch backward, his body splintering into shards of smoke. For a moment, there was silence. Then everything collapsed inward, the hollow folding on itself, the shadows screaming, the light consuming all. Dorian caught Kiera as the void disintegrated around them. Kiera, stay with me. I can't, she whispered. It's pulling me apart. He held her tighter. Then I'll go with you. The final blast of light swallowed them both. Kiera gasped awake on cold stone. Rain pattered somewhere nearby. She was back in Duskmoor, inside the chapel ruins. The bell above her head swayed gently in the wind. Dorian lay beside her, unconscious but breathing. His skin was pale, his pulse weak. She touched his face. We made it. But then she saw her reflection in the broken glass beside him, eyes glowing faint gold, fangs faintly visible, and something else behind them, a faint shadow moving in her pupils. From the darkness, her father's voice whispered one last time. You can't kill what's inside you. The bell tolled once, slow and mournful, echoing through the ruined town. Kiera closed her eyes. She wasn't human anymore. And dawn was coming.